So some people recently reported that you said the LMS is dead. And I think you probably meant that it's time for the LMS to evolve, that we need to move to the next level. So do you think we're moving in the right direction?
Well, first of all, I do want to say one thing. You guys showed me this new system 2 weeks ago, and I think this may be the most significant thing you have ever done in the company. I really do. I think it's very big. And I'm being completely honest about that. and here's my experience with this. We've been in this business about the same amount of time. The learning management systems business is about management. Management of content, management of training, management of certificates, programs, curricula, and so forth. And you built a great business doing that. And we all bought those systems and we used them. And then about 5 or 6 years ago, people realized, you know what? It's not about the management of learning, it's about the experience of learning. And I want to be able to find a video or share something with another person in my company, or learn something that's appropriate for my new job or the job I want to get. And the learning management system was never designed for that. And so a bunch of little companies were futzing around with video learning platforms, and they basically became a different category of software, which I basically couldn't think of a name for, and I called it the learning experience systems. And you guys have been buying these things because the learning management system wasn't designed to do that. But learning management didn't go away. So what you've effectively done in the last year or two is built the learning experience platform on top of the learning management system, so now you're able to do both. And I really think you are the only vendor that has done that. And so it's going to be very exciting for you guys. So my hat's off to you, Adam, really.
Thanks, Josh. Checks in the mail. So how do you think all of this learning experience platform change is going to affect L&D? Because it's got to affect the people that work in training and development.
It's freaking out L&D. Okay, let me just say that. So a couple things on that. We are publishing our 5th High Impact Learning Organization research this last month. The net promoter score of L&D is -12. So L&D as a profession has had a really hard time keeping up, and it's not for lack of effort. It's for lack of tools and really lack of standards. And so what we're finding in my conversations with many, many of you and lots of chief learning officers is that L&D has to go through a transformation and do the same thing. Get out of the process of management and think about the process of experience. So that means you're not a teacher, you might be a producer, a curator, an experience designer. I mean, you have to think about the learning experience in the flow of work now, and that's not where a lot of L&D professionals started. What is it like for a new employee in a bank, for example, to need to find information immediately? They're 6 months into the job. Where do they look for it? How are they going to find it? Where, what is it going to be? What is going to be available to them? And so you have to think about your jobs as really content experience designers and analysts to understand how people are using the system to make it better and better, and to develop tools and reward systems so people do share content and they do promote what other people need to learn, and they do create a culture of learning. So I think it's actually a huge opportunity for L&D to rise up and take on a whole new role in the organization.
So if you were to advise a mid-career L&D professional, which is what many people in this room do today, what would it be? What should they do next? What should they do right now?
Get out of the classroom, get out of the corporate university, and go look at what it is like to work in your company and see what the problems are people are experiencing day by day, and see how they're learning how to do their jobs better. And get in the middle of that flow and look at all of the little things you can do to improve that experience. So it's coaching, it's time for learning, it's rewards for learning, it's obviously the system, it's sharing of learning, it's many, many other things. And I think your natural skills in the L&D profession will absolutely become important as you go and do that. And that's really what's happened, and that's why these learning experience platforms have become so important, because they enable you to do that.
So what else is missing? So now we have learning management and learning experience. What else do you have to do to, or do we need to do to transform the way employees are learning?
Well, the next big thing, and this, this industry never stops moving, is the impact of AI and technology, as you talked about. And what's happened, and there's an article I published that's coming out soon. Jobs have changed, and they kind of changed out from underneath us without us realizing that. And we are now all augmented by technology in our jobs. And so our employees, wherever they are in the sales organization, marketing, customer service, whatever, are finding themselves needing to continuously develop themselves and rethink about what their careers are. And so I think the next sort of shoe to drop in the learning management market is making sure that the content and the culture and the experience that people find at work is not only developmental for where I am today, but getting me to where I know I need to be when I'm not even sure where that is. Because the job that I applied for and went to work, in changed when I got there. And it changed the next day. And that's a different mode of thinking. And I think some of the traditional ideas of competency models and career paths that we've had with us for decades, they're kind of not enough. We need to go to the next generation. So there's lots of new innovation yet to happen.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
It was great to see you.
Great.